All right, Reglio Ken, what's your question, man?
Hi, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Nice. Yeah, I just wanted to know if and when we will get a kind of visualization of the point system through the worker supply. So if we're supplying, do we get some kind of dashboard or something to know how much we're earning per se?
Yes, that's a great question. So there are two parts of the worker rewards programs. The first one is for the next 2 months, we're basically running the worker program as part of the larger airdrop program. So for the next 2 months, there will be no dashboard because I don't want people to gain the boosted incentives that they're getting pre-TGE. You are getting incentives, you are getting rewards, and those rewards track your activity all the way back to November. After we officially launch, when the rewards are just part of supplying the network and not part of the airdrop program, we will provide a dashboard that will help you understand what you're earning, just like how there's a dashboard that shows you your earnings from being rented.
All right, thank you very much.
Thank you. I'm going to move you off the stage and go to Ocasio. What's your question? Oh, shit, I moved Ocasio to the... My bad. All right, Kill for Cookies, what's your question?
Hey, do you hear me?
I can hear you.
Awesome. I want to know if I know that there is a possibility to run the node, but I want to know how can we do how the project will recognize that I am running the node, the node. So I don't see that there is. Yeah.
Are you asking, let's say, if you run a node, how we know to give you rewards?
Yes.
When you go to Worker, there's a tab that says Rewards, and you can actually put your Solana wallet in there. And what that does is it associates its Solana wallet with the node or with the nodes that you're running, and then we're able to basically give rewards to that wallet for your nodes.
Oh, got it. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Of course, I'm going to move you off the stage. Again, if you guys want to jump up here and talk, please go ahead and hit request to speak. I'm going to try to find you amongst all of the chats, so I apologize. Holy cow. I'm trying to move this up. Aaron Flash, I'm bringing you up. Hunter, I'm bringing you up. Luffy, I'm bringing you up. I'm going to bring a ton of people up. Don't talk at once, please. All right, Aaron Flash, you go first. What's your question, man? Aaron Flash? Okay, Luffy, what's your question, man?
Hello, can you hear me?
Hello, I can hear you.
Hello?
What's your question, man?
What are the unique features or advantages that IO offer? This one asks.
Yeah, of course. So IONET is very different than some of the other DPINs that you see out there. Most people are probably very familiar with Render or Filecoin or Akash or maybe even Golem if you were around a few years ago. IONET is different because for 3 reasons. One is we are specifically tooled for AI and machine learning. There's a reason why Filecoin and Render put their GPUs on our network, and that's because their networks are actually not tooled for AI and ML. Filecoin is for storage, Render is for rendering images, and in order to make GPUs work for AI and ML, you actually need to orchestrate and tool those GPUs to work for those use cases. The second is that we can cluster tens of thousands of nodes. If you had a reason to, you could go to io.net and create a cluster of 10,000 plus nodes today. No other network can do that. If you wanted to go to Akash and cluster nodes, you would have to create a cluster of, I think, 10 or so nodes, and they would all have to be in the physically same location. And so something to consider is like we're able to scale extremely, extremely quickly, right? And we can also get to a much larger scale, which means we can tackle bigger and bigger workloads. And I think the third, a lot of people compare us to Jensen. The third is that we have end-to-end for AI and ML, which means that we handle everything from training to inference. And a lot of other networks just don't do that. So, I think obviously there's going to be a lot of other DPINs that pop up, but we are the largest. We are live. The product is usable. We're growing fast, and we are one of the only ones who can actually achieve a scale that is necessary for AI and ML. So hopefully that answers your question.
Yeah, that's a great answer. Thank you so much.
Thank you. I'm going to move you up the stage. All right, I'm going to look for some more people to bring up. Please request to speak. If you previously requested to speak and I didn't find you, please just remove your request and then re-request it and I'll find you. Really quickly, Lanoon's asked in the chat, thanks for all the hard work. I wonder what are your final client targets? Which people will need GPU space? AI and ML companies. So we're already working with a lot of machine learning companies. The types of companies that run models or need to train models are things like quant trading firms. So if you're running a machine learning trading model, if you're trying to build an LLM, if you're trying to run a product like a ChatGPT or a chatbot or something like that, all of these companies need compute, and so we're able to supply that. Okay, I'm going to keep on looking for people to join. Again, if you want to join, please request to join and I will find you. If you ask a question in chat, you're going to need to tag me, otherwise I'm not going to be able to see it. Fat Unicorn says he wants to ask a question. I'm inviting you to speak. Francisco, Fat Unicorn, what's your question, man?
Hello, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Yeah, wait, I can hear my voice. With the collaboration with Filecoin, so right now, from my understanding, they're providing like GPU to IO.net. Would there be a time where, for us, we're mainly IO.net, would there be a time where GPU providers can provide storage to Filecoin?
That's a great question. So if I understand your question, you're asking, today Filecoin GPUs are providing compute to AI companies via IO.net. Is there a future where the IO.net DPIN then provides storage to Filecoin? So probably not. And the reason is because the economics for providing compute to AI companies is a lot more lucrative than providing storage. So if I was a GPU node operator, I would make more money providing compute to an AI company than if I was providing compute or storage to a storage DPIN, right? Because if you think about it, compute is more expensive than storage. And so the economics are better, which is why Render and why Filecoin are providing their capacity to us. Now, that being said, we are going to make storage available. So if you did want to provide storage, you could. And this might be a good option for people who are connecting maybe lower end cards to the network, right? So a lot of you are probably providing your graphics cards into the DPIN, but unless you have one of the higher end cards, you may see that you're not getting hired as frequently. And so what we want to do is provide different options for these people. And so something that we could also do is provide storage on top of compute, which is something that is really interesting, right? So not only can we as a network provide someone compute, but we can also provide hot access storage by providing that storage on top of compute, which allows us to access even more customers and charge them even more money.
Yeah, thanks, Asking.
Of course. Thank you for your question. I'm moving to the audience. Okay, I'm going to scroll down and try to find some people to bring on stage. Again, if you guys want to jump up here and talk, please tag me in the chat or also just raise your hand. I don't see any new people raising their hands, so I'll wait for you guys. Okay, Grateful for Music, I'm going to bring you up. Kunal, I'm going to bring you up. Gareth, I'm going to bring you up. Jarl, I'm going to bring you up. Jay, I'm going to bring you up. Marigold, I'm going to bring you up. I'm just going to bring all of you guys up because I see you raising your hand right now. And then everyone, take it one at a time. I'm going to call your name, okay? All right. Okay. Gareth, you first, man. What's your question?
Okay, hi. Will other GPUs and CPUs be supported in the future, such as AMD and Intel models, or only Mac and NVIDIA?
Yeah, it's a fantastic question. So we're continuing to expand the types of cards that we want to support. Our goal, hey Shadid, our goal is to make sure we support as many cards as possible that are usable for AI and machine learning workloads. Today, we prioritize the cards that are probably going to have the fastest or the highest hire rate. But you should see more information about expanding support for other cards soon. Thanks for your question, man.
Okay, thank you.
All right, Kunal Munda, you're up next. Can you ask your question, please? Kunal Munda, can you ask your question? All right, Kunal, I'm going to move you off the stage, and then I'm going to go to you, Jarl. Jarl, can you ask your question, sir?
Hey, what's up, Husky? I just followed you on Twitter, dude.
Super thankful, man. I will follow you right back.
Awesome. My question is, I think a lot of people are wondering about this, but it's a very, I don't know, maybe silly question, but will there be a public sale for IO.net?
Unfortunately, there will be no public sale. There will be no public pre-sale. We are launching in less than 7 weeks, and so anyone who wants to support the project can do so once we are live.
Okay, awesome, dude. Thank you so much, man.
Thank you. I'm going to move you off the stage. Thanks for your question. Vince Wengot Moon, you're up next. Can you ask your question, sir?
Yeah. Could you hear me?
Of course,
Hello?
I can hear you.
Yeah. Thank you for having me here. I have some questions for your team, and which most Chinese friends are concerned about. I want to know, will you give the work points and the airport the airdrop to users which have address from China?
Are you asking whether or not people from China will be able to participate in the network?
Yeah, because we all know that Chinese friends have some obstacles to connect to your service, right? And if we can connect to your service by the VPN and everything can work well, why you give the airdrop to a user from China?
I see. I can talk a bit about the airdrop and China. So, we are not going to. We don't know what everyone's local rules and regulations are, and I would recommend that you understand your local rules and regulations for the city or country that you live in. We will be, by default, restricting access to the claims page for countries that are basically not allowed to access the airdrop. However, our recommendation is that if you do want to access the airdrop, that you go to a location where you can access the airdrop. Hopefully that's helpful.
Okay, that's so pity. But if we can connect to your service with VPN, and is it legal?
So again, I'm not going to comment on whether or not something is legal or illegal. All I know is that if you are able to connect to our service from a location where you can access the airdrop, then you will be able to access the airdrop. Hopefully that's helpful.
Okay, that's cool. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Hopefully you understand what I'm saying. All right, I'm going to move you to the audience. Mike Gosu, you are up next. What's your question, man?
Yo, hello. My main question about public sale is asked and answered already. So this is a follow-up question.
Of course.
What kind of main strategy will IO.net will use in the future to get an edge to other DeepIn projects? I'm talking about the potential users.
Yeah, absolutely. So there's a lot of things that we're thinking about as we continue to grow. I actually think that IO.net already has a lot of differentiators to some of the other DeepIns out there, right? Again, Filecoin and Render are really not today focused or tools for AI, whereas we are. Not every hardware network is going to be able to just support AI and machine learning workloads. The second is, a lot of people compare us to something like an Akash, right? If you look at something like an Akash, you'll notice that they're really only able to create smaller clusters, right, of like 8 GPUs, and all their clusters have GPUs that are co-located. And so when we think about the things that IO.net does extremely well, it's all about speed, scalability, and the ability to serve AI and machine learning customers. As AI continues to grow, IO.net is just going to continue to grow, right? Because compute is already a very scarce resource, and it's only going to get more scarce.
I see. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. I'm going to move you into the crowd, and then I am going to have Abraxas Romania. Can you please ask your question?
Yes, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Great. I was wondering, I see that we are a big, a very active community, and I was wondering what are your plan to use this big and active community besides Twitter and Discord? How can we support
Yes.
this?
Yeah, I really appreciate that. So there's a couple things that we plan on doing. Obviously, the team is extremely busy in the last 6 or 7 weeks before TGE, but we have a lot of plans to do like local activations. We want to build community on the ground in person, not just in Discord. And so the community team after TGE will actually be putting together some really awesome like local meetups and local events. We really want to partner with local institutions. So if any of you guys have connections to like local universities, local research institutions that are working on AI and machine learning models, please, we would love to talk to you. And also our goal is to be able to have a presence in every country, right? So, you know, I don't know for everyone else, but I'll sort of say one of the reasons why I joined IO.net and find what we do very interesting is that the world continues to deglobalize, right? A lot of countries are now thinking about compute and GPUs as like a nationalistic type of resource like oil. And that's a really, really kind of scary future, right? The world is very connected, but we keep on we try to be less connected, like deglobalize. And so I view IO.net as a way for us to build global community around compute as a resource, and a way for us to sort of champion this permissionless and connected access to compute. So I know that's a bit of a crazy, lofty answer, but the way the community can support us is, again, just be active, invite your friends, tell them about what we're doing, educate them on why it's important, and when we start doing in-person events and meetups, please participate.
Thank you.
Thank you. I'm going to move you to the audience. Wonder, I'm going to get you up here. What's your question, sir?
Hello, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Perfect. All right, let me say my notes real quick. Here we go. So my first question is related to the current GPU power that's necessary or required for, I suppose, just the IO.net rewards, and how is this expected to change over time as, graphics cards increase in power and stuff like that are gonna. So if like there's new graphics cards that come out that have more power, will rewards be increased, or just like what's the plan for that? If I said it kind of understandable.
Yeah, it's a fantastic question. So I think your question is really around what types of GPUs do we support and will we reward today, and how will that change in the future as hardware specs change, right? So a lot of this is going to be dictated by market forces. Today, you can view the list of compatible GPUs on the network by going to IO.net, going to products, and then viewing the types of GPUs that are available on the platform. And that basically means if you're connecting one of the GPUs that we support, even if you are idling and not being hired, you will earn IO rewards. You will earn revenue if you are hired or rented, but as long as you're idling and connected to the network, you're going to earn some level of rewards. Now, the types of GPUs we support and the reward rates for those GPUs, those may change in the future. At the end of the day, it's going to be based off market forces, right? Our goal is to grow a network and use IO to incentivize network growth in a way that allows AI and ML companies to continue accessing compute. Now, there's a pretty long backlog for hardware manufacturing, so I don't necessarily expect the spectrum of GPUs that we support to change in the very near future, but certainly in the medium to long term, as we continue to support whatever is new, whatever is the most the most powerful GPU, like I think that may change, right? I would expect it to change a bit.
All right, thank you very much. Very good answers. I was in the AMA yesterday as well, and you answered my question very satisfactorily, so I appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Of course, man. Thank you for asking your question. I'm going to move you off stage, and I'm going to bring up C Full of Stars. What's your question, sir?
Hi. So my question is kind of a follow-up on this question that you just answered. So when the system gets a new computational task, what criteria does it use to choose a worker for this specific task, or is it at random?
That's a really good question. So I'm going to answer what I know, and Shadid may be able to jump in on this one.
Hey.
So
Yeah. Hi, everyone. So basically, your reputation score and reliability score, it's sorted by the highest first, picks up the highest, just like an order book, and then keeps going to the less and less and less. So your reputation score is what defines how many jobs you get, because the higher your reputation score, the more jobs it is. Now that's of course after selecting your network connectivity tier and so on. So if someone says high speed, the highest speed always first. Then second sorting is, the reputation score and uptime score and so on, which is the uptime score for now. Reputation score is same as uptime score. Thank you for asking.
Okay, makes sense. Thank you.
Thanks for your question, Matt. I'm going to move you off stage. Let's see. Samuel92, thanks for waiting patiently. What's your question, sir? Samuel92? All right, we'll give him a sec. I can't pronounce your name. I think it's Sild, the guy with the yellow cat banana. What's your question, sir?
Yeah, thank you for making this AMA possible. I have a couple of questions, if you could answer them. I think they're pretty minor. Look, we know that the Galaxy campaign launched, and people are able to collect points. And what is the usage of those points, if you could answer that? And also, during the AMA campaign, we're kind of meant to get the tier role, tier 1, tier 2, tier 3, and so on. I haven't found any information how to get higher than tier 4, I think. And overall, what is the usage of this tier role? As you've already said before, there is ITG coming in 6 or 7 weeks, I remember exactly, and there is not going to be a token sale. So it's going to be, what type are you planning to make? Are you planning to make an airdrop? And if it's going to be an airdrop, is it going to be based on Galaxy points, or is it going to be based on providing the GPU or CPU, so running a node? What is planned in this way? Also, as you could have seen, I'm sure the team is aware of this question. There are bots, and how are you planning to remove the bots from real people? Because obviously rewarding bots is not great.
Yep, that's a fantastic question. So, as you guys all know, the conversation around tokens and airdrops is very, we have to be very specific due to regulation and compliance. So I'm going to give you an answer and hopefully it's satisfactory. So there are 3 ways to earn rewards before TG, right? The first way is to connect a GPU or a CPU to the network and provide compute. The second is through Galaxy. The purpose of Galaxy is to rapidly grow community and to be able to give people who do not have strong internet connection or a supported GPU or CPU the ability to participate in it. Because we know that not everyone has a internet connection that's going to work. We know that not everyone has access to hardware that allows them to participate in the network, and we don't want to restrict the community from growing, right, by doing that. And then the third is by being in Discord, participating, getting roles, creating content, helping one another, generally working with the moderators, right, and just being a really strong community member. We created these 3 different ways to earn rewards because, again, not everyone is able to provide GPU into the network, and also not everyone is able to do quests, right, or be online all the time. Not everyone is able to sit in Discord all day long, right? And so by doing these 3 different ways to earn, it gives everyone the ability to participate. I mean, you asked another question about the bots. We are totally aware of the bots. It is incredibly easy to filter out bots, and we're going to take care of that prior to the airdrop. So we are working with Galaxy. They have a human score that they apply to wallets, and so we're going to be able to remove those. And then we're also going to be able to, I mean, the Discord rules are discretionary, so it's very easy to see. And then on the network side, I don't think we're going to see a ton of bots providing GPU capacity. So I don't think we have to worry about it there. Something I will say is that it is really important for a project to show wallet distribution. And when I say wallet distribution, I mean when the token first launches, it is really important for us to be able to say, hey, look at these hundreds of thousands of wallets that are holding the token. And a lot of exchanges look at that. It's a metric that a lot of people look for, right? Token distribution. And what most projects aim to achieve is they aim to achieve a really strong and wide distribution where even if you bought these rewards programs, they're receiving like 2 tokens, right? Like just a very negligible amount of dust, but it creates a very large distribution of wallets, and the bots tend to not sell the dust. So it also, it also removes supply, right? And so the way that I looked at this is, if I can identify the bots, if the bots earn extremely minimal rewards but count as a recently active wallet and they hold that dust, we're removing a lot of supply. We're going to reward the real people, and then the people who kind of really, really help the community. Like we've got a bunch of volunteer mods right now. There's a lot of people who are helping to manage the global language communities. There's a lot of people like you guys who are coming up to ask questions, right? We can use the Discord rules to just manually give you guys rewards, if that makes sense.
Yeah, thank you for your question.
Thank you.
Oh, sorry for your answer.
And by the way, I really appreciate the question about the bots, guys. Like, you guys are not hurting my feelings. We're aware of it. We have a plan to take care of it. There's only so many tools that we have to prevent the spam, which I know is super annoying. But for the rewards piece, like we have something in place, and we're going to be able to make sure that bots are not heavily rewarded. All right, I'm going to move you to the audience. Bantal Kuseo, you're up next. Can you please ask your question?
Hello? Can you hear me?
Bantal Kuseo. Yeah, I guess music, you can go first. I'm going to remove Bantal. I'm going to remove Samuel. Go ahead and ask your question, man.
Hey, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay, I have one question. As you said that there will be no public sale, so there's the only option through running nodes or providing GPU, right, to get involved in the project. So can you tell us a little bit how to provide that GPU to every person? Do we need a great computer to do it, or everybody at home can do that? Thank you.
So, as long as you have one of the supported chips, and we support Apple Silicon chips, so the M1, M2, M3, which is in most of the new Apple products, you're going to be able to be a part of the network. Well, the challenge is that the more consumer cards may not get hired or rented as frequently, but even if you are idling on the network, we will provide rewards. So there's no need to, if you get hired, you'll obviously earn revenue, but even if you don't get hired, you're going to get a reward. So I encourage you, if you have one of the chips that are supported, please go ahead and just connect to the network.
Okay, thank you.
Cool, thank you. I'm going to move you off the stage. One by one, all unmuted.
Hi.
Hello.
I had one question, but you already answered about Galaxy Points, so I will ask another one. I work in a company where computer power can be used, mainly for rendering photos or videos, and we are especially interested in creating videos and photos using AI. So my question is, do commercial offers exist, or will there be any commercial offers in future for companies like mine? Yeah.
Yeah, actually, if you work for a company that requires compute, or if you work for a company that has a lot of GPUs and you want to be a part of the network, please DM me. We'll get you connected with our BD team, and we can absolutely put together a partnership. We would be more than happy to find a way to support you.
Okay, I understand. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Appreciate your question. I'm going to move you to the audience. Aurora, thank you so much for waiting patiently. Aurora, you're up next.
Hello?
Aurora?
Sir, can you tell me about the mainnet of your project?
Guys, can we please let Aurora go next? Aurora?
Thank you very much. So I have a couple questions. I read the documentations, and my first question is about the tokenomics. So I've read generally about the token IO and the stablecoin, but would like to ask for more information on that. How would you explain the tokenomics to make sure that I understood correctly?
Yeah, so I'll preface this first by saying that the final tokenomics are still being reviewed, but I can give you guys a high level. So the first is, I know on the website we talk about IOSD. We originally had played around with this concept of a stablecoin for payments, but then we actually decided just to use USDC. So there will actually not be a stablecoin, which makes our life a little bit easier. And then generally on the tokenomics, we're going to have an initial circulating supply. That initial circulating supply will then inflate to, so the initial circulating supply is going to be about 500 million, and then it'll inflate to 750 million, so about 50% total inflation. And then the number of tokens will actually be hard capped, so there will be no more new IO tokens minted after 750 million. Now, remember, this is being finalized, so please take these numbers just as a tentative number. That inflation will occur over 30 years, and the inflation will be used to reward workers. Outside of that, we're playing around with a number of other mechanisms to reward token holders. Like we're looking at staking, we're looking at buy and burn. There's a number of different things that I think we're ultimately going to think about implementing to make, to accrue value or just to kind of, again, reward token holders. But a lot of this hasn't been super set in stone. Something that I always like to go back to with the project is that unlike many other projects, we actually bring in a significant amount of revenue from outside of the project, right? So a lot of projects have circular tokenomics. We've all seen kind of like the hyperinflationary projects before. Something that we do that's very unique is we have a real customer, which is AI and ML companies, and they pay in real money, right? Real USDC, and they're constantly putting money into the system. And so that revenue goes to workers, that revenue goes to produce sustainable economics for the project. And that revenue can also be used by the project to then buy assets that can also support the network or generate revenue as well. Does that answer your question?
So to summarize, they won't be a stablecoin backed by IO token, right? So instead of that stablecoin, there will be just USDC.
That's right. We'll be using USDC as the payment stablecoin. Yeah, there will just be the IO token at least for now.
Yeah. So pretty much it. Yeah. Thank you very much.
Amazing. Thank you for your question. All right. Well, we actually got through a bunch of people. Let's see. Oh, people are trying to come up to speak, so I'm going to invite Ali, Danil, Alwin2, Subkadara, Sarajit, Bahaya. I'm inviting you guys to speak. Please come up. Vertigo, Mikhail. All right, Vertigo, what's your question, sir?
Hello. Thank you for having me here. Okay, so I have one question that often occurs, is asked to me when I'm talking about IONET with my friends. Will there be any the case studies of CPU or GPU providers of their return on investment and investing in in the network of IO.net, something on the web page, maybe some article, something like that.
Yeah, hey, if you guys have, can you please mute? Otherwise, I'm going to keep going. All right, well, that's an easy way to get kicked. Yeah, so you're asking, will there be case studies or any information for people who are supplying so that they can understand how much they're going to earn? Absolutely. Yes. So if you actually go to the IO.net Explorer page, and then you go to, I believe it's on the Explorer. There's actually a page that will show you the cost to rent a GPU per compute hour. And if you look at that, you're actually going to be able to see how much it costs, right? Like if I wanted an A100 versus an Apple M3, the amount of money that it costs to rent that unit is a good proxy for how much that node runner is going to earn. I know it's not perfect just yet, but we will eventually create a UI that helps you understand how much you're likely to earn if you're hired and how much you're going to earn if you're idle. So we'll allow people to kind of run those simulations and get more information.
Cool. Thank you very much for that. Thank you.
Cool. Absolutely. Yeah. And again, I encourage everyone to go to io.net / or it's cloud.io.net / explorer there's a lot of really good data there. It's all live, so you can see what GPUs are being rented, where the GPUs are. You can see how much it costs to rent each of the GPUs per hour, and that gives you a good sense of what you're going to earn. You're going to notice that the Apple M1, M2, and M3 chips are pretty expensive to hire, and that's because we're really incentivizing people to connect their Apple silicon chips right now. And so if you have an Apple chip, I encourage you to connect it.
Cool. Thank you very much, Husky. That was great.
All right. Thank you for your question, man. I'm going to move you to the audience. Froggy, you're up next. Froggy?
Hi, good day.
Hello.
I just want to ask, how is the project funded, and what is the roadmap for the development and implementation? Thank you.
Yeah, so we actually just announced $30 million in funding. That was yesterday. We announced our Series A from a number of really, really amazing VCs, founders like Anatoly invested, Solana invested, Multicoin, Aptos, Animoca. So a lot of the names that we know and love. And we also have a number of angels who have participated in the project as well. So the project has plenty of funding. We also earn revenue. So when people pay into the network to hire GPUs, the node runners are also paid, but we take a very small percentage. We take like 2.5%, so it's something very, very small. So the protocol earns revenue that way. You asked another question. What was the second half of your question?
The second half of my question is, what is the roadmap for the development and implementation?
Yeah, so we've got a lot of really exciting things. I think the number one thing we're looking forward to is at TGE, the whole website, the UI, the platform that you interact with, that interface is going to be updated. So it's going to be a lot easier to use. It's going to be a lot more slick. It's going to be a lot faster. And so we're trying to fix a lot of the bugs that people have been experiencing. I'm going to be very honest, guys. Our community grew way faster than I thought it would. We went from 8,000 people to 160,000 people. Our Twitter blew up. We had someone on my team was telling me that someone tried to add like 20,000 chips in one day from Korea to the network, and that was there was that day last week where no one could add chips, and that was because someone was trying to add a ton of chips. And then I think you guys also crashed VC8. Like our infrastructure was fine, but the web provider was not. And so we basically had to upgrade all of the partners that we use to make sure that our stack is ready for everyone who's been trying to use the product. So
yeah. Thank you so much.
Thank you for your question, man.
Thank you.
Of course. Mr. Stocks, you're up next, man. What's your question? Mr. Stocks? All right, we're going to go to Scalarelix. Scalarelix, what's your question, man?
Hello, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay, good. What is your marketing strategy when the bear market begins and the AI and cloud hype is over?
Yeah, that's a fantastic question. So I truly think that this demand for cloud compute is secular. And when I say that, I mean that it's basically not going away, right? Whether it is AI or whether it is something like cloud gaming, whether it is remote rendering, whether it is decentralized storage, compute and compute power is effectively only going to go in one direction. And I don't know if it becomes easier to access, right? Maybe we all figure out our manufacturing, but I think in the next 5 to 10 years, it's not going away. Like chips will only get more powerful, but the resource will only get more scarce because there is just way more demand than there is supply. That being said, our goal is to make sure that this protocol is extremely sustainable as a business. And you guys probably can already see that, we earn real money, right? We are not selling crypto to crypto people. We are selling a commodity to customers using blockchain and crypto as an intermediary. And that's a really interesting place to be because we're not creating economics out of thin air. We're not, we don't have to go find customers. there are customers, there is a problem, and we can provide that solution. And I know that can be very strange, especially in crypto, where like values like created out of thin air and everything is magic internet money. But what's really amazing about us is that people are paying real money. These are customers and enterprises and traditional companies that don't need to necessarily be in crypto. They can pay with USDC. We're going to support other payment methods like credit cards soon. And so I don't think the bear market is going to affect us really. Like we shouldn't be as subject to cycles, like crypto cycles. But your question on sort of the AI boom is important, right? I just don't think it's going anywhere in 5 years. I think we have a lot of time.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. All right, Wire XLE, what's your question?
Hello. What are the teams plan in the context of the technological revolution and so on?
I couldn't hear your question. Can you say that again?
What are the team's plans in the context of the technological revolution and so on?
Oh, fantastic question. So, there are a lot of things that I personally dream about doing with Solana. I'll give you one. I would love for us to be the AI app chain for the Solana ecosystem if they ever choose to move into an app chain structure. I really think that Solana has the basis to become a very, very exciting high performance hub for a lot of projects. And then as projects specialize and require a different level of throughput, they can access app chain, right? So imagine a world, just everyone close your eyes and imagine a world where we have these 26,000 nodes, I think is what we're at now. And these nodes are able to also run a blockchain and provide compute and provide storage on top of that compute. And if you're a project that's building on Solana and you want access to extremely high throughput and compute and storage on top of compute, you build on this like IO AI app chain or IO compute app chain, and the IO compute app chain then settles to Solana. That would be absolutely incredible. It would be a blockchain and a blockchain ecosystem in partnership with Solana that no one has ever seen before. And those are the kinds of things that we want to build towards. Cool. Thanks for your question, man. Of course. All right. I'm going to move this to 0xADU. What's your question, sir? 0xADU. All right. I'm going to move to FlickStation. FlickStation, what's your question, sir?
Hey, sir. Do you hear me?
I can hear you.
Please, I want to ask about economics. Do you have
what's your question?
supply? Can you
Do we have what supply?
Max supply of coin.
Yes, the max supply is capped at 750 million. Yeah, one more time. The max supply is capped at 750 million.
Yes, and can we have a pre-sale if there is any pre-sale of tokens or no?
There will be no pre-sale. It's going to be a direct launch on an exchange.
Thanks, sir. Thanks.
Thank you. All right, I'm gonna move you to the audience. Yeah, Grateful for Music. I want you to come up. I hit invite to speak. Can you click the invite? I'm gonna take a quick audience question. Hello, this is Tamir Danish. Hello, I own an AMD Radeon RX 5700 XT GPU, and I would like to participate as an ION.net worker. When will people with AMD GPUs be able to do that? Thank you. Soon. I don't have a great answer for you. We basically started with support for NVIDIA graphic cards first, expanded to Apple chips. I know that there's a lot of demand for AMDs. We're going to try to support the chips that the AI and ML companies want first, because our goal is to be able to provide a product that they want to pay money for. So our team is working on it. It is on the roadmap. And thanks for your patience. All right, Saber, you're up next, man. What's your question?
When will Mac machines be available to rent again?
Mac machines should be available to rent already. If you're having issues with creating a cluster using Mac chips, or if you're having an issue with running Docker or anything on a Mac, can you please create a support ticket? I know we've had some issues. We've had some issues with accessing clustering from Mac devices, so create a ticket and we'll be in there to help you. Thank you, man. I'm gonna move you to the audience. Mikhail, you're up next. What's your question?
Yeah, would your service be suitable and like accessible for mature male engineers, or is primarily designed for a startup large company?
Could you maybe ask your question again? There's a lot of echo on your mic.
Oh.
Okay, I'll let you figure that out for a moment. Hey, 0x80U, are you there? Do you have a question?
Yeah. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Yeah, that's fine. Sorry, my mic was just acting up. But as you know, recently in the Discord, it's been booming. It's gone from like 6,000 to like, I think 170,000 now. But there's been loads of people supporting you from the start. And I was just wondering on the Galaxy tasks, if some people aren't able to deploy the GPU, the only really way to participate in the airdrop is the Galaxy class tasks and the Discord. I was just wondering, as so many more people are going to be joining this community, loads of them also being influencers, is there anything really in place from stopping all the influencers from just shilling their links and just dominating the leaderboard in the Galaxy tasks, just resulting in the actual people who are passionate about the project just going down?
Yeah, it's a fantastic question, man. So the Galaxy quests are super easy to farm, right? And my model that I'm running is basically like my goal is to achieve maximum distribution on a normal curve. So if you think about a bell curve, right? My goal is to get as many people on the middle of that bell curve as possible, and then have a small amount of people on either side. If you're participating in Galaxy and you're farming it and you're going, hey, might be, I feel like this might be really difficult to earn and you'll get diluted, don't worry. I would actually recommend you spend more time in Discord. So the mods in Discord all have the ability to assign roles. If you were one of the first 8,000 people in the Discord before we launched Galaxy, you should have automatically received a tier 3 role, or what you will shortly receive a tier 3 role. That gives you access to a channel called Core Supporters. It's a little bit below the voice channels, and it's in the same section as all the language channels. Please spend time in there. So we know that we cannot prevent bots from joining the Discord. Like, there's way too much sophistication with the bots. So what we did was we allow the bots to automatically earn airdrop tier 1. And then we make it pretty easy to earn airdrop tier 2. Once you get to tier 3, it actually unlocks 3 new channels: core supporters, workers, and deployers. And our intention is for the quote unquote real community members to actually spend their time there. So if you look at the Anything Goes channel and the lounge, like, those are basically just like gigantic spam rooms, right? And we know that to be the case. Like, there's nothing we can do about that. We have to give the bots a place to spam, and then we slowly use roles to bring people into another section of the Discord that is inaccessible even to quote unquote verified people. And then we're very liberal about handing out participation roles in those channels. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes plenty of sense. Thank you so much for that answer. That's really good. Thank you.
Yeah, of course. Thank you. All right, moving to the audience. Mikhail, do you want to try one more time? What's your question, man? All right, I'm going to move you to the audience. Sorry, man. I'm Grateful for Music. You're up next.
Hey, thanks for doing this. This is awesome. Yeah, I've been supporting, providing my GPU since November, so really very much fan of this project. Quick question I had, and you may have already addressed this, but it's around the tokenomics. I saw earlier, I haven't been able to re-find it, that there was going to be like an IO token plus an IO specific stablecoin, and there's going to be like an arbitrage burn and mint mechanism, which reminded me of Luna and UST and gave me a little bit of PTSD. So I wanted to see, is that still on the table, or have you changed?
No, it's not. It's so funny because when I first saw that, I said, hey, I see what you guys are going for, but that gives me Luna PTSD. So we will not be doing a protocol stablecoin at all. Okay. Awesome. Yeah, I'm gonna remove that from the docs. It's in the docs. So So we're not doing a stablecoin. I think initially what we wanted to do was create some kind of burning mechanism for IO that then minted a stable that could be used as a unified payments token. One, that has a lot of issues. Two, we don't really want that stable trading on the market, and like it's hard to prevent abuse. And so what we did was we said let's just use USDC as our payment token, and then have the IO token basically cover a lot of other functionality like deepen governance, like being used for staking, and then in the future, if there's a blockchain involved as a native and gas token for that chain. So our goal is to have a fixed cap on the IO token, and then basically introduce a bunch of ways to remove supply. So again, the tokenomics are still being reviewed, but like some ideas are we can buy back, like not mint and burn, but buy back and burn. Right, so we use protocol revenues to buy the IO token ourselves, and we just burn them as a protocol programmatically. That's a really good way to remove supply. The other thing that we can do is we can use the IO token to buy assets, like literally buy GPUs ourselves, put them in a data center, put those GPUs on the network, and then those GPUs earn revenues, right? And we can use those revenues to either buy back and burn, or we can distribute revenues to stakers. Obviously, there's compliance and things for us to figure out there, but there's a lot of really interesting ways to basically provide the token with utility. And then I think that something that most people don't think about is this kind of concept of like value of compute. So we are putting together a ventures arm where instead of investing money, we just invest compute. Like we give startups computing power for free, and then we get access to their either they give us like tokens, or we get equity in their company, and then we can actually roll that up and then basically divide the value to token holders, right? Could be some sort of like tokenized bond or some real world asset situation. There's a lot of really interesting things we do. And of course there's governance, right? I mean, a lot of people say like governance is really stupid. I tend to agree. But for us, governance is really interesting because governance over something like a DPIN that has potentially millions or hundreds of thousands of GPUs in it, that's something that becomes valuable. Like imagine if there was a world where when we launch governance, right, we all voted on how much the DPIN charges different apps that are built on top of it. Today, IO.net is the only app built on top of the network. But what if one day there was like 20,000 apps, and the community was the one who was voting on how much we charge each of these different apps, or what the fees that the DPIN charges, right? And it means the community is the one that's kind of dictating some of these economics. It could be really interesting. It also incentivizes large projects to buy and hold the token to participate in governance, which creates some really great dynamics. And also, my hope is that this project, right, this network will eventually earn enough money that the treasury is very large, and we as a community can decide how we want to deploy it. So this kind of shift to decentralization is critical to the token, and the token is kind of critical to this shift to decentralization. And I think we're not there today, right? Like, let's be honest, guys. We have a DPIN, but IO.net is a web app, and most web apps are centralized. But as we shift towards decentralization, do people want governance over like a DEX where people are just trading, or do people want governance over hopefully what is the world's largest decentralized network of GPUs? Like that would be something that I could see a lot of people wanting to participate in governance on because it's super valuable. Long-winded answer. Hopefully that was helpful.
No, that was a fantastic answer. Thank you.
Awesome.
Appreciate it.
All right, guys. Yeah, of course, man. I'm going to move you off to the audience. All right, I got a few minutes left. I don't think I'm going to take any more questions. Let me just scroll through to see if there's anything super interesting here for us to talk about. All right, you know what, Santo, what's your question, man? Come up and ask your question. Santo, what's your question?
Oh, hey guys, thank you for
Hey, what's up, man?
All
Yeah,
right.
we can hear you.
Okay. How does IO.net prioritizes users' privacy and security? So, we're in today's digital world, right? So we are all kind of paranoid about our personal info getting leaked or hacked, right? So
Yep.
when it comes to using like platform like IONET, which you guys deals with networking and stuff. So I want to know how you guys keep our data safe. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, that's a great question. So for the people who couldn't hear, Santo's question was around security and how IO.net keeps people's data safe. We basically use end-to-end encryption. And what that means is if you are a node operator, you actually cannot see the traffic on other nodes, which means that as a node operator, you can only see the data and the traffic that runs through your own node, but none of the traffic that runs through anyone else's. And no one else can see the traffic that runs through your node. And that's very important, right? Because you basically have security through fragmentation. If you're operating one node and you don't know what's happening in the rest of the network, and none of the rest of the network knows what's happening in any other part of the network, and we all only know a little piece of what's happening on our own node, we can never piece together, the whole picture, right? Also, it also means you can't access information on anyone else's node as well, and so your information that you have on your device is also safe. We very much value security. I think that, for us, it's incredibly important that people feel safe to connect a GPU to the network. And especially if you're using something like a MacBook, right? You need to feel comfortable that we're protecting your data. And so one of the things that we constantly are looking at are ways to basically add more security into the network architecture. Like I've heard conversations on our team. This is a little bit too technical for me, but I've heard conversations around like trying to figure out how we can use K at the node level to obfuscate the workloads on the nodes more. So a lot of really exciting ways that we can add even more security. But today we use a very similar like security framework that any cloud provider uses, right? Which is basically end-to-end encryption.
All right.
Thanks for your
so
question.
it's cool to know that you guys are taking seriously on how to keep our privacy safe. So yeah, that's good.
100%, man. All right, I'm going to move to the audience. We've got a couple minutes left. I know Kleineman wants me to say something to the group. So for those of you who were here today, to receive a tier 2 role for being in the AMA, please go to the hashtag AMA participation channel. Click on the computer screen emoji. Before you leave the channel, check your profile to make sure that you have received the role. You can click it again if you do not have the role. The channel is going to be open for 20 minutes. So 20 minutes after this AMA ends, you need to go to AMA participation, click on the computer emoji, and you will receive the airdrop tier 2 role. One more time, again, for the people who are in here who've been participating, there is an entirely different section of the Discord that opens up when you are airdrop tier 3. That is our way of separating out the bots who are spamming the channels with people who are helping. And I recommend once you have access to the core supporters channel, the workers channel, or the deployers channel, that you go hang out in there. I spend a lot more time in core supporters because I can actually keep up with the conversation. And the mods, please thank your mods. They are literally sorting through spam every day to try to find the real people to give them roles. So if you see a mod, please be patient with them, DM them, tell them thank you. And if you want to get involved as a volunteer mod, let us know. We'd be happy to have you. We could use the help. We've got a lot of language channels as well. And last but certainly not least, if you're making memes, or if you're a graphic designer, or if you're good with video editing, we want more memes. We want people to post more memes. We're looking to make like sticker packs and things like that. So feel free to DM me or DM Kleineman. You guys have all my TG info. I'm super doxed. So feel free to reach out. Again, thank you so much, everyone. Really appreciate your time today. And I will see you here same time next week. Thank you. Bye, everyone.